Damn it! I need more light back here.
You know I have a habit. I'm not.
I need more.
Put your hand a little.
I can't.
I'm not.
If I do it, it shows my forehead. I'm trying to hide it. My son said it. My forehead.
Okay.
You're 5 head.
Yeah, my son had the nerve.
You guys,
He had the nerve to say.
the show is on. We are starting.
I had
We
the
are
nerve
live.
to say I had all this forehead.
All that ass.
All that ass and all that forehead. All that ass, all that forehead. Name of the show.
Hey, welcome to this week's episode of Shopkulture Supreme. We're here, and here. We got in the studio today, Mr. Creator. I'm gonna give him his props. Okay,
It's not Mr. Creator. It just goes by The Creator. Hashtag.
Okay, this is my show, so I say Mr. Creator.
I don't like Mr. Sounds old.
Mr. Creator
I like
of Shop Culture, Barry,
You don't know my last name? You don't know my last name?
Uh-uh.
It's Crosby.
For real?
Did you really not know it? I don't think you knew my last name. Did you? You really didn't? Yeah.
Hi, Jesse. So we got.
Does that include me, Jesse? Hey, beautiful people.
Of course.
No, I don't think so. I really,
Of course.
Jesse, I don't think that includes me.
Of course.
And we got
Damn.
Julie girl. She's the first lady, Shop Culture. One of them. And we got her in the studio. How you doing, Miss Julie girl?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Get on that mic. Get on that mic. Don't
Come on. We gotta
hear you.
Check, guys.
Yes,
I'm
microphone
good.
That's
check.
better. That's better. That's better.
Okay. Then we got the producer.
What's going on, y'all?
Yes,
What's going on?
That is.
the
Good evening, good
producer.
evening.
Yes,
Don't
yes,
steal my intro
yes,
for him
yes.
tomorrow.
You know what? Mr. Creator, or the creator of Shop Culture.
It's the.
Yes, sir. He's talking about you too.
Oh, thank you,
Being
Jesse.
beautiful. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You talking about Nick too?
Yes.
Okay.
Do they know what Nick looks like?
I'm not in it.
They know
You know
that.
what, Nick? Show your face.
I don't think they
show
do.
your
Show your
face.
face.
Turn that
just
camera
real
around.
quick.
Nick.
Show
I'm not
your
gonna turn it
face.
around.
Show
I
your
come around.
face.
Just real quick. Let's see that beautiful face.
Look
Come
at all
on.
that. Look at all that chocolate.
All that chocolate.
All that chocolate.
What's going on?
That's
Can y'all
what's
see me?
up.
What's
Check
going
him
on?
Come
out.
on.
Check him out, y'all. This is
All
the
right.
one. This is the one.
All that
be-
chocolate. All that ass. All that
No,
forehead.
this is the one.
Pause.
This is the one to be kicking
All
all the
that ass.
asses out of Shop Culture Live.
Yes.
Okay, this is the admin that don't take no shit.
He is I,
Okay.
and I am him. Yes.
So
Yes.
so
So better act right.
now you know.
Right.
So now you put a face to the name.
Right. All right. Let's get the show.
All right, let's
Let's
get
go.
the show started. So how was y'all weekend? What y'all actually do?
I went to a comedy show on. Oh, that was yours. Sorry. That was yours.
Wait,
Oh, my bad.
did you go to a comedy show?
I was
too?
there. Yes.
You went to the
Comedy
comedy show? Which one did you go to?
Friday night, I went to the early show.
I was at the early
Nate's
show.
Comedy Club.
You were not there.
I know. I wasn't.
Okay.
You know
He's trying to
what?
take my...
You know.
Oh, I see. I got you.
I went to a comedy show.
How was it?
It was nice.
Was there anything we need to know about? I mean,
It was date number 2, but he did give a shout out to Shop Culture. The comedian pointed us out, said we look like new love, and asked how long we were together. So we said date
who
number
hooked
2.
this up? I wonder.
Look,
I want to know
I
who
wanna
played
know.
matchmaker for this.
He played matchmaker,
Okay.
but he saw me in Shop Culture.
Because of some.
And he saw your post, and he thought it was funny because your post said something like, if anybody hooked up in Shop Culture, you want a
Dividends.
surcharge, dividends. So he hit me up, and he said, hey, we're having great conversations, so I think I need to pay my dues to Barry.
Cool.
Wow.
I only asked for $50, so it's not like it's a lot.
And so during the show, he said, they asked how we met, and he said, loud and proud, he said, Shop Culture.
See,
Alright.
so all that
Look at that.
divisiveness is not true. There's
There
a
we
lot
go.
of love in the air.
So
There
there's
is,
connections
there is.
being made.
There's connections being made.
All right.
We want to know any other connection being made
You know,
from shop culture.
I had a interesting weekend. I had an interesting weekend. Letitia Lau.
She left me out.
You're feeling very unloved tonight.
So, hey,
Don't worry about it.
They only address the women on this show.
all right, we see that.
You already know. You already
Luckily.
know.
Never mind us.
Never mind us.
Okay.
The word, Nick. Yeah.
Yes.
It's whatever. It's all
Yes.
good.
It's all good.
What was you gonna say, Carmen?
I had an interesting weekend. My job where I work at, Gary Payton came into the store.
I saw that. That was so baller. That was so
And I didn't know who he was.
The greatest Sonic of all time.
good. Man.
Gary Payton.
50.
Yeah.
She was
I went
literally.
I went to hug Sean and I went to go punch in.
Where do you go when you hug Sean? Like, how far up on
His
his?
knees.
I bet
his
you.
knees.
I bet you.
I'm at the top of his stomach. Yeah. I'm at
Interesting.
the top of his stomach.
well,
Okay.
What? But anyway, and so Sean came into the store yesterday, and I really had to apologize to him. I said I had no idea that was Gary, and he said, "I said, could you please tell Gary I am so sorry." He said, "Okay." He said, "But don't worry about it. Don't worry about it." So that was kind of interesting.
Interesting.
It is. It's kind of embarrassing. I had the same type of moment with Sean Alexander when I was shooting on the sideline. I said, you look like somebody important because he had his ring on. He goes, I only took Seahawks to the championship. And I looked at him. I said, are you Sean Alexander? And he goes, yep.
But we
I
didn't win the
didn't even-
damn Super Bowl.
No. And maybe I would have remembered. I would have known then.
Don't you start. Don't you start, Barry.
Against a
Don't
team
you
by the
start.
name of Pittsburgh Steelers, where we got
So
Don't you start.
gypped by the
robbed.
refs.
So robbed.
Don't you start. Okay, y'all. Today.
What about mine?
Yeah.
Weekend.
Yeah. You okay?
my weekend was whatever.
Well, we goes on.
Oh,
I like. Why am I? I'm here so I won't get fined. Type of
Right,
stuff going on.
right.
Like
Well,
I don't get a hand.
apparently we were at the same comedy show.
Yeah.
Right?
so
You
we
had
killed-
your moment.
Yeah, we killed two birds with one stone.
I didn't even
No,
get
we
the-
fed two birds with one
Yeah,
seed.
okay.
I didn't even
Yeah,
get
fed
on.
two
How was
birds.
your weekend?
How was your weekend be?
It was nice and chill.
Nice and chill.
I got my golf game back. I'm golfing.
Okay.
That's what's up. That's
Yeah.
what's up.
Okay, you improved on your bouginess.
How's that bougie? Because you,
Just answer the question.
I don't believe in that.
Say yes.
Yo.
Okay. Nick, how was your weekend?
My weekend was cool. I've been, gearing up for my vacation. So, yeah, it was super, chill and relaxing. We had like a game night at my girl's house last night. So, I was at and then
Shop Culture
I was
should
at
have
work.
a game night.
Shop Culture tried to have a game night.
You did, Julie. I will go ahead and shout
Yeah,
that
she
out.
did.
You did, and nobody was able to make it. And I'll go on record in saying that I think I was the
I didn't
last
get
one that pulled.
I didn't get invited. So.
I was.
Yeah, you did.
I pulled out because I just couldn't make it. And you stay out in the middle of nowhere though, Julie.
Oh goodness.
Well, if somebody that lived in town hosted, then we could do that.
Well, fair.
I'm just saying.
That's fair.
That's it. That's it.
No, but my weekend was cool. It was cool.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Hey, Angela. Okay. Hi, Kia.
Angela was in the building. I said she went to the white party.
Oh, her and Christine. Did you see them?
Did they
They
represent
look
shop culture?
gorgeous.
They-
Oh my
They did.
God.
Did they do a
Gorgeous.
shout out to shop culture? I didn't see a shout out, so I
I
don't.
don't know.
It don't count.
Wow. They actually look awesome. Okay, y'all. We're gonna get started with the show. Today is a special show. we decided, Shop Culture Supreme and Shop Culture decided to come together for this show, United in Mental Health. We're going to talk about some mental health disorders, one of anxiety and PTSD.
Correct.
We're going to talk about that. We're going to have resource numbers. We're going to have some experiences. And we also want you guys to engage. And, if there's any stories you have or any questions that you have, we're not doctors, so we're not diagnosing shit. But we just want to give you guys a little information on some mental health and where you can go, hey, Coco, and where you can go to get some help. First, I want to say, we're going to start the show by, giving a little bit of my history with mental health. I've been diagnosed about 25, 30 years with PTSD and major depression. And, I suffer in silence. And, this show is about, you not having to suffer in silence anymore, and that there's people out here who will listen. So in saying that, Julie, you want to do what you do?
Well, I do have resources. We were going to talk about anxiety, and really anxiety stems from a fear of loss. So if you're having financial hardships, you might worry about food resources, you might worry about your home situation and transportation. So if anybody needs help with that, I do have resources. You could just hit one of us up, and I have an array of different things that I have. Like I said, it's for home, it's for food, it's for transportation and counseling as well. And we're also listing the crisis number because this could be a topic that triggers, right?
Definitely.
And so anxiety versus the day-to-day stress.
Yes.
And it's just huge with anxiety. Again, fear of loss. And you mentioned there's good anxiety that keeps us motivated, that keeps us on the right track. It could, like goals or deadlines could cause some sort of stress and anxiety, but doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing versus anxiety. And we have an image that Nick could pull up that talks about what anxiety can look like.
Yes.
The irregular heartbeat, the stuttering, the sweating, the headaches, inability to sleep, and he has it.
Yes.
Stress is again short term, and anxiety is something that just won't go away. And sometimes you could do exercises or meditation, fresh air alone, but sometimes that doesn't do it.
Yes.
And you need the medication.
Yes.
And that's okay.
Yes.
It's okay.
Yes. For me, when I was diagnosed with PTSD and major depression, back then treatment, wasn't like it is today. The therapist and the therapist and the psychiatrist were two different people. And in order for you to get some type of medication, you would have to see the psychiatrist. The psychiatrist was the only person.
Because that's the doctor versus the social worker.
Now, treatment today, anybody can prescribe. Anybody can prescribe medication. Or should I say any doctor can prescribe medication. But for me, my PTSD and major depression, it's hard. because mental health has a stigma on it. You know, you got to be crazy, you know, it's just, it's bad. And so people don't think that they could, you know, have anybody to talk to.
Right. You
And-
get labeled real quick. Oh,
Real
you're
quick.
bipolar.
Yes.
Because you have a
Yes.
bad day and
Yes.
but
Yes.
unless you know the true definition,
Yes.
you're judging. And sometimes it's just a projection.
Yes. And for me, you know, I've been in therapy for over 20 something years, and I know what to do. You know what I mean? I know what to do.
Because you like inward.
Yes, I know how to distinguish, you know, when I'm sad versus when I'm depressed. I know how to distinguish, you know, when I'm happy versus when I'm manic. You know what I'm saying?
Stress over
Yes,
anxiety.
I can tell that. But trust and believe, it took years and years and years of therapy.
And growth and
Yes.
self-awareness.
Yes. And my anxiety level right now is through the roof. Like I'm constantly, you know, like running, you know, my mouth running, my feet running, you know, everything running.
Your mind, your heart,
Yes.
your everything. Yeah.
Graduation coming up,
Which
you know
congratulations
what I mean?
to you.
And,
That's a hold on. It's a huge accomplishment, and from the stories you told me, I'm so proud of you.
yes.
And what an accomplishment.
I appreciate
Yeah.
that. I really do. And I'm gonna tell you, I worked my ass off, and I'm going to claim this. I'm going to claim this. I'm going to take this, cuz I went through it.
You did. And
Which-
you overcame, and what a
Overcame,
beautiful like
yes.
testimony that when people want to give up or have the stress or anxiety, that just don't give up and keep your eyes on, you know, on
Keep
the
your
goal.
eyes on the prize.
Exactly.
And
And
you can do it.
and slow motion is better than no motion.
Hello. 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 But yeah, you know, for me, you know, having the label, you know, or having a mental illness, you know, it was hard for me to find somebody to talk to,
Right.
you know, because half of my family were mentally ill.
And to find someone that has that compassion, that empathy, and
And
patience. Yes.
Patience.
That patience is huge. And that's what they say what love is, right? And it doesn't have to be romantic love. It's just a love from human being to
It
human
makes
being.
it harder. It makes it harder for a person to love and for a person to be loved.
Well, we have to receive it too.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It makes it harder for a person to be loved and for a person to love. You know what I mean? When you have a mental illness, because I'm gonna say, in my experience, 7 times out of 10, a mental illness it comes from a trauma.
Yeah. Well, probably higher than
The other
that.
3, I'm going to say, is a chemical imbalance. Okay.
And unhealed, yeah.
With me, it's, you know, I had the trauma. And, you know, I also believe there's a little bit of chemical imbalance in there too, because I have
Do you
seizures.
feel like with your therapy, with you saying it's a trauma, do you think talking about it were triggers, or do you think not talking about it is where you just couldn't grow from it?
I've been in therapy long enough to know when to talk about it and when not to. And who to talk about it to
That's
and who
big.
not to.
The trust and respect is huge.
All my therapists and my psychiatrists I've had for years. You know, so this last one in Pennsylvania, I've had her for like 7 years. And she knows me better than, you know, she can tell you anything about me. She can tell you what I'll do. You know, she'll
Before you
tell
do
me.
it.
Yes, she'll tell you what I can't
So,
do.
Being
Okay.
I'm just trying to stay on the mic.
All right.
being in so you say she's in Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you speaking to now?
Oh, I have a therapist here in
And you feel just as connected?
Yes.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yes. Because the incident that happened when I, with Wendy's, I went into therapy. When I was discriminated against, I went into therapy. That was hard. But as far as mental health go, I don't want to spend all this time talking about me. But as far as mental health go, the PTSD as well that is out there, and that comes from a certain kind of trauma, and it's hard. It's really hard for people to actually take the time to deal with people.
I have I'm diagnosed with PTSD, and I actually had a service dog, and when COVID came, they pushed me to work at home because of my health, and she's now a house pet, and I've really, really been cultivating my relationships so I could find people that I trust, because I felt very isolated and alone, and I mean, she's a certified service dog, and I do suffer from depression and anxiety, and so, but I don't trust people, so therefore it made it hard to go into therapy because I wouldn't trust my therapist either.
At some point, because I am older, at some point I realized, like, my traumas wasn't my fault. However,
and that's what we have to get over. We are thinking it's our fault and holding the guilt like we deserve to be abused in whatever form.
That wasn't the case. For me, the trauma alone. You know what I mean? I had to come to a point to where I had to accept it, that it happened, and somehow understand that trauma is going to always be there. How am I going to learn to live with it? And therapy. I mean, I still have, I've toned down a whole lot. And this mental health thing for me, it has been a detriment, because it has, I've lost relationships, I've lost friendships, all because of my mental health. And I tell you, my thoughts stress me out alone.
Right, and that's the anxiety part of it, or the PTSD.
So yeah, what about you, B?
I think that there was such a large stigma around quote unquote mental illness for a long time that it's great to see the progress being made, that more and more people are willing to discuss and talk about it. I know even within my family, one of the ongoing jokes is, when somebody was lashing out or they're crazy, it was just crazy, and that was just the term you used without really knowing the impact of what you were really saying or the impact that it really had on the person.
Hi, First Lady Shante.
Shantae's here.
Love you.
Hey.
Miss you. Sorry, B.
No, it's all good. But as men, I think one of the things is, again, one of the great parts about shop culture is willing to have men come in, really kind of trying to talk about what affects us and what impacts us in terms of our mental health.
So what does mental health mean to you as a man? Like, what does mental health consist of for you?
Well, to me, what helps me, because as somebody who, I've gone through some stuff, and what's really helped me is therapy. Really coming to terms with, I always thought I was, mentally healthy. without acknowledging some of the parts that, some of the traumas that affected me growing up, and the effects that it had even as it was with me in adulthood. So what could I do? And so I went and enlisted and got the help of a therapist, and it's been so helpful, not only with relationships, not just intimate relationships, but like relationships with, from parents, family members, co-workers, all of that.
Yeah.
And being able to open up and discuss and to see what could I do to change some of my thought process. And I think that's so very important. And I think we need to have more places and more people around where we can heal.
Yes.
And
I
so
think everybody should go to therapy.
I think it should be part of everybody's. But it's unfortunate.
Because it could even help with communications and communication
But
styles.
you know what? I have to say
But it's an
this.
expense that sometimes that people don't realize the importance of. And maybe in our society, we have to make it more available,
But you know
more
what?
affordable.
Sometimes some people don't agree with that. Some people believe that a therapist is nothing, but they just tell you how to live your life.
No, but that's somebody who hasn't went through therapy, because
Or finding the right therapist, because there's multiple ones, right? There's ones that let you talk and they listen. It gives you an outlet. There's therapists that does homework assignments. There's therapists that sometimes make you listen while they do all the talking, and it's about finding the right one, just like a mate.
Yes.
Just like a friendship.
Yes.
The therapist.
Yes.
1 year I went to 14 therapists.
You gotta pick your therapist like you pick your lawyer.
And you just have to.
I think
multiple therapists are the way to go, because you have to interview them.
I got you.
Right.
And that's another thing is, you can't just go with the first one.
Yes.
And then sometimes it's
Yes.
all right to have multiple too,
For different
different
reasons.
reasons and different things going on.
Yes.
They are just so. But then you also have to, I think, and that goes along with friendships too, because you got to have people around you, to me, that you feel comfortable enough to open up about.
Thank you.
And not share your secrets when there's a falling out.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's the different
Exactly.
parts. And that's where to choose your friends and
But
choose.
that's where the maturity comes in at. You know what I mean? And I think I was.
But hurt
talking
people
about
do hurt
this
people
today.
too, so we do have to acknowledge that part.
And that's
Yes.
why we
Yes.
start with self.
Yes.
We have
Yes.
to start with self.
But you have to understand that, and I hear that a lot. Hurt people. And, do you really know what that means? Hurt people.
I think the hurt people don't understand it.
Exactly. The hurt people.
Yes, yeah, very true.
But people say,
But we also
hurt
have to-
people. And that's not what it means.
No.
But we also have to understand humans are very flawed. We're very flawed usually, so we can't just
Why do you say that every time you talk to me?
because every time I talk to you,
Yeah.
'Cause-
You always remind me that humans are flawed.
we are very flawed.
So you saying I'm perfect?
Oh, not at all.
Okay, because I do understand that humans are flawed.
No, but I'm thinking I'm talking about more of a general, because you're talking in terms of when you always say that, I understand what you're saying, but you also have to take into account that we as people are flawed. So there are going to be errors and missteps in friendships, in relationships, just in general relationships.
Yes.
It's how you
Doesn't,
recover from it.
but it's how you acknowledge
it.
accountability,
and react to it.
and
Yes.
just the love that's shown
Yes.
after it,
Yes.
and the
Yes.
grace,
Yes.
and the compassion, and the true.
That's the hardest,
empathy.
but that's the hardest trait
And
in
the
humans.
accountability.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
hard.
No,
but
grace is the hardest trait.
It really is.
It's the.
think
It
so?
really-
Oh, are you
yes.
kidding me?
Yes.
Having grace.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
if
Yes.
it was not, then and we should be
Yes.
able to forgive.
And forget. Yeah, that's what
I
they
would
say.
even say, I wouldn't say forget, but be more aware.
Yeah, if you
But-
can, if it's easy to forget, then there wouldn't be PTSD, right?
True that.
Yeah, but that trauma, you're talking about a trauma
But
that
you
hits.
don't. But the person that can also contribute to the trauma, if like for me, when there's accountability in the trauma, you're not gonna forget it, but you can, or you don't have to agree with it. But like for me, a sorry goes a long way. My mom left us. My mom left us as a children, and that I was raised by a single dad, and I spent my whole childhood looking for her, but they couldn't talk to me because I wasn't 18. Well, I found her as an adult, and I've kept the same number for over 20 years, just in case she wants to call me. You know what I mean? But I understand certain culture, even though it was the trauma in that. So I could forgive, understand, but I don't agree with it, and I can't forget it.
But you're aware of it.
But I'm aware of it,
So
so
I
that
think
helps.
yes.
That helps.
For me, I've learned to understand that, God will do for me what I can't do for myself. And when it comes to forgiveness, I put that in his hands because I am not a
What do you mean by you put that in his hands?
He'll forgive you. He'll forgive the person that hurt me. He'll forgive them for me.
In
Until
general,
Are you talking about it in general, or
are you
until
talking
you're-
about in general or
until you're
your
ready to-
experience,
until
your
you're
trauma,
ready?
your trauma, or in general, or both?
My trauma, I just, I don't deal with that. I mean, like, it hasn't came up, Once I turned 50, I had to stop blaming.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
hard.
And take accountability.
You don't
Like,
think it
look,
came up, or it might have not came up maybe in your view or in your eyes. It might have came up though. It's a strong possibility. It has.
So forgiving, is it hard in general for you to do?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but I know, and I know this.
Oh, okay.
So I'm working, I'm working on some shit, y'all.
So
I ain't
that's that
perfect.
grace part you're talking.
Grace.
See, forgiving is not hard for me. What's hard for me is trusting and respecting afterwards. Forgiving is the hard, or is the easy part for me.
Well, then that goes along the lines
Yeah.
of grace though, because you're extending a grace.
But
a level
I can, forgiving is not hard for me.
Well,
But the respect and the trust. But that's where a lot of my trauma comes. That abandonment is where my trauma comes. So that's where I have to say, Julie, it's not your fault.
But
Well, that's what I think what Carmen brought up a good point is finding that for Carmen it was God. And for somebody else it might be some type of spiritual awakening or
Right.
spirituality that can help them reach, that level of,
when it's
I say peace, because that
Right,
peace
it
is
it's center, balance, peace.
that
It
peace is
just,
what
it's so
helps you.
underrated.
But you also got to understand nobody's suffering but you.
Right.
The people that hurt you, they're going on about their lives.
Well, I don't know if you necessarily know that.
No, I don't really agree with that.
Yeah.
I'm from my experience, because I don't know, okay? Because I don't know, and it's not really my issue to care to know.
It's not your burden anymore.
Exactly. It's not my burden.
That's when you
My
release.
thing is,
Right.
okay, my thing is that they betrayed me. I did anything. I was a child, okay? And it wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault. And over the years, I've dealt with it. And I've even been triggered. You know what I mean? But I'm old enough now to understand that it wasn't my fault. And that, the longer I hold on to what happened to me, the longer I'm going to hurt. and the longer it's going to stop my growth.
Right.
So, but like I said, it took years and years and years of therapy. I'm 52 years old. I've been in therapy over 25 years.
Do you think that therapy ever stops? I always have that question because I think it's a continuous.
Not in my life.
You don't think it's going to stop? You said, or
No, because you always have to have you have certain tools for certain situations.
yeah.
And non-bias kind of
Exactly.
helps too.
Exactly.
For me, it was the
Exactly.
non-bias.
But you know what? The
helps.
therapists become biased after a while.
You
you
think
know,
so?
It becomes stale.
Yes.
I think the message because
Yeah, they become
Yeah.
biased after a while.
I agree with that.
You know, because you're talking to them, you're giving them yourself. You know
That's
what
my
I'm
problem.
saying?
I've not stayed with one person long
See,
enough.
I've had in 25 years, I think I've had 5 therapists and 2 psychiatrists.
Well, that's amazing that you found somebody that you can connect and
You find
and
multiple
feel
people.
safe.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
I mean, but you can't say, okay, I'm going to do it for you. I'm going to do it for you. You got to want to do it. You know what I mean?
For self.
And my thing is, I don't take excuses because I know for a fact, proven, evidence, I'm evidence that you can do whatever you want to do with or without a mental illness. And I am one who I'm mentally unstable.
I don't want to laugh right now, Carmen.
I am mentally unstable, and I'm okay with that. You know, I'm okay with that. And no, I'm not on medication, but I do have the tools. And like I said, there's certain tools I use for certain situations. Now, I still have some growing to do. I still have some learning to do. But the fact that I have the willingness, yeah, that's me. Can we get some engagement from the comments? Can we get some comments?
I've already ran through all of them.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
What do you do, Barry, to when you feel anxious or down? Because I know you're going through a lot right now.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do to center or ground yourself?
You know, it's kind of been a blessing, I think, for me. And that's why I think therapy has definitely helped me recenter and understand certain things. Yeah, like you said, I have and am going through stuff, and I'm going to be going through it for a while. And there's no really right way, but there's only a way that I can find for me. So far, it's just been a lot of just stepping away. You know, some people say, well, that's maybe not the best thing to do, but for me, it's working. It's just pausing. I call
Just
it taking
make
a
sure
pause.
You don't isolate though.
Yes.
There's a different
Isolation, there is a difference, but I also understand. I like, for me is really finding activities that helps me kind of put things in perspective. Like I said, I went golfing, right, and I did some hiking.
So that physical.
And that was able for me to actually get my mind out and just detach.
And they say there's something to be said of fresh air in nature, which you just golfing, hiking.
I think it's a big thing.
Music does it for me.
Some people say music, or some people need to be around other people. Some people need to be around people. I mean, so you have to find different outlets that work for you. But whatever you find, you got to make sure that it's working too, because you will go to that deep area, and
darkness.
you don't want to stay there.
Yeah,
I think it's all right to go there. I think
okay
it's part of human.
Because it
I was gonna say
appreciates.
that.
It's all right.
It's only you have to, at some point in your life, you're going to be in the dark side.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Just not live in it.
yes,
But it's a blessing that you have people that care,
yes,
that check in,
yes,
and make sure you're okay. It's like, yeah, you good. Just
you
that
have
goes.
to check in with your strong friends.
And I was gonna say that
you
too.
have
It's
to
the
have
ones,
to
yes.
check, and the giver,
Yes.
the lover, the one that wants to show up and show out for everybody. They struggle too, but they feel like they have to be there for you. That you don't see, and I'm sure you're a prime example of that. You
Well, you
have
gotta
to
understand,
stick
even
in
with
your
what I
strong
do,
friends.
I'm blessed that I'm around so many people with, my shop. But doing that, sometimes I gotta
You
take a
take their
time out for
energy.
me. I gotta
Exactly.
decompress.
Exactly.
And
You suck in all their energies,
yeah,
too.
I gotta be
Yeah.
able to detach, get away, and work on me.
Exactly.
And so, I've been there and gone through it, and it's a process. It's a process that I'm
definitely
okay
is.
with going through, and I'm okay with going through that.
And you learn.
About yourself.
You
Yeah.
learn about yourself and who's really in your corner. And,
Yeah.
and they don't have to be in all aspects of your life, but you can have that safe friend.
But I don't think it's negative to when people are not there.
Everybody's
For you,
different for different things too, though.
I don't have a safe person.
You don't. Well, your therapist is your safe
No,
person. No.
No, I think I'm my safe person.
I mean, I guess it could be. I mean, whatever works for you.
I mean, I'm my safe person because it starts with me and it ends with me.
Yeah.
And I have to, and like I said, I'm older. You know what I mean? So when I first got diagnosed and got into therapy, it was more about talking versus writing prescriptions. You know what I'm saying? The therapist and the psychiatrist, they actually listened, while you did the talking. Now it's like therapists, they do more talking and you listen, and you know what I'm saying? And that's not how I do my therapy. I talk, you listen, and then you give me feedback.
See, and
give me feedback.
I have
Sorry.
safe people because for me, I need accountability partners, right? Because part of my anxiety is the negative self-talk, and I have to remember just because I'm in this motion right now doesn't mean it's real. And so I have safe people and accountability people where I could just reach out to them and they could be like, okay, Julie, no, you're just in this moment right now. Or sometimes I'll be like, okay, just embrace this moment right now. So just depending on what I'm going through, because for me, I do the negative self-talk. I'm not good enough. This is all my fault. I deserve this. I'm worthless. And do I really? That's not safe for me to be in that space, right?
Yes.
So maybe, so we all just have like different whatever, but it's just being able to have, for me, that safe person. And I have a couple safe people because I don't want to put that burden on just one person, and different people get different parts of me, because like what I will disclose to a man might not be what I disclose to a woman. What I disclose to a woman might not be what I disclose to a man because of like maybe different judgments or whatever, but it allows me to say, yes, Julie, you're tripping. Or, you know what, you can own this feeling and it's okay.
I think for me, how I became my safe person, I had to learn how to trust myself. I was putting trust in other people, but I wasn't trusting myself. And I can say today I trust myself. And there's certain people that I don't trust, but I trust myself, which opens my mind up to the ability to trust others.
I think trust and value. Trust and value in yourself.
Oh yes, most definitely.
The value is such an important aspect of the trust part, because you value yourself.
Yes. But if I trust you,
and you
own your
build,
accountability.
you learn boundaries
Yes.
when you value yourself.
but if I trust you, that means I value you, because I don't trust too many people. You know what I mean? That's just for me. If I trust you, and I'm in your you know, and I'm in your space by choice, you know what I mean? I trust you. So I value you. You know, that's just Angela, she says, I can trust myself. Oh, she says, I use my art journal for expressing my feelings. Not many people get to see those artworks. I definitely want to see them, Angela. Definitely. yes. But that's definitely, you know, they say do a lot of journaling. You know what I mean?
I used to before it was violated.
See, I don't. Once I start journaling, I can't keep it up.
I used to journal and write poetry.
I just be like, now I'm just so.
Spoken word is such a
It
dope
just is
outlet.
a relief, and it may in the way you construct it. It
Your
kind of pulls
wordplay.
you- Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, your wordplay.
Yes.
It's such a
Yes.
reflection of inner and deepest feelings. I think
Yes.
it's a true art form.
Yes,
so-
because those are genuine feelings.
They used to have
Yes.
that, what, Deaf Comedy or something? It was on HBO back in the day. Anyways, it was a poetry slam.
And that's,
Deaf poetry.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was some.
Hey Nick, we ain't heard from you, love. What's as far as mental health? You know, what do you do to ease your stress, or you know when you get in certain moods where where you don't want to be? What do you do?
So, the first thing that I do, I have to isolate. I have to get away from everybody. I got to turn my phone off. Don't call me. Don't text me. I have to get away from people. People in general kind of piss me off on the daily, but that's a whole other, you know. With you already know how I go.
Yes.
When there's stupidity. So
Yes.
so no, but I have to isolate and be just to myself. I did that summer of 2020 when I protested all summer from the time it started all the way up until it died down around, I want to say like August. And it didn't hit me until months later. Like me and my homegirl, shouts out to Marina Lotus, we was out there protesting together. And I remember we were just sitting down talking about it, and it was weird because we were getting beat the hell up by the cops, pepper sprayed, people were getting beat with bikes. It was crazy. Shot at, like, it was wild. And we were talking about it as if it was just something that like happens every day.
Wow.
We are, I know my generation, and especially the ones behind me, the Gen Zers, millennials and Gen Zers, we're so desensitized to all of this fuckery that goes on the
Yes.
daily, because, you know, we're of the information age. So
Yes.
how we process information is totally different from the generations before us,
Yes, definitely.
Generation X and boomers, especially boomers, right?
Yes,
so
definitely.
because stuff hits us a million miles per hour, but we digest it in such a way to where we're just, hey, this is just life. This is what it is. Somebody just got popped over, you know, down the street, but you know, whatever. So what you about to do today?
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you know,
like it's
so
like the norm.
so it was weird how that triggered a lot of stuff that I was bottling up from my childhood.
Those triggers.
Because once I started feeling like, damn, I was actually like not only a part of history, but like, you know, I was a part of something like crazy. Like this is not normal. This is not like it was very violent in them streets, you know, that summer. You know, every day. You know what I'm saying? I was being told not to go out there, but I was out there live streaming because the news was telling y'all something totally different from what was actually
going
happening.
on.
So
Yeah.
there was folks like me out there, and shouts out to Mari Salisbury with Converge Media. He was, before Converge Media I think even started, he was out there with his team actually giving you like play by play what was going on.
without the manipulated
Right.
narrative.
And I was doing the same thing, and you know, just doing that, being on the front lines, that was just beyond traumatizing. Isn't even the word.
Mind-blowing,
It was
yeah.
it was beyond that. And so we sat down, me and my homegirl Marina, and we talked about it. And then months later, I don't know, I was just in the house one day, and it's just me. I don't have like any kids or anything like that. So I'm in the house, and I just started breaking down, and I didn't understand it. I was just like, why the fuck am I in here crying? Like, there's nobody in here. Nothing is. I'm literally just sitting down. I think I was watching TV or something. It just, I don't know, just started tears just started like overflowing. And then from there, I started thinking there was other things going on too. So like family. At that point, I hadn't reunited with my family just yet. I left because of the traumatizing shit that was going on.
Yes.
Me being the oldest child and taking in all of that, knowing exactly what happened from when my mom was with my pops to her two other marriages. I was there for it all. And having to carry all of that, and so it's just like,
or feeling like
fuck all of this.
to.
I'm right. So my whole thing was, I'm out, I'm gone, and I stayed gone for like 13 years. I didn't see my mom, I didn't see siblings, I didn't see anybody. The most contact that they had with me was over the phone. I don't even really rap with them on social media like that. So it was a lot. It was crazy because in between all of that happening, I remember I was having talks with close friends of mine. I think I talked to Barry about it at one point in time. And everybody was just encouraging me to go and, you need to go and see your mom. That's not normal for you to be, away from your mom that long or your family in general.
It's something, it's something. I mean, it's bad with your mom, but it's with your mom is just...
Yeah.
It's just...
But we had a conversation, though, and I told my mom, like, why I stayed away from her. I held her accountable.
It's hard.
I held her...
Accountability is huge.
It was easy for me. I had to let her know, like, you weren't, I know my father was like, that's a whole other story, And I confirmed that on my own when I went and sought him out myself. Moms wasn't just talking shit. It was just like, oh, no, she was actually like, she was dead ass serious. Like, this is who he is. And I got to see that for myself.
And
rather than just running with the bitter baby mama narrative.
Yeah.
So.
Which is common.
Very.
So you don't know which way to, until you see it for yourself.
Right. And so, but with my mom, I held her accountable too. I held her feet to the fire. Like, so you mean you allow for this to happen, you allow for that to happen, and you expect for me to actually like still keep in contact with you? Like, you expect for me to just like, I don't know, give you a pass? Like, the way that I am, and people who know me know this, I give nobody a pass. And you guys were talking about forgiveness, and I salutes to you, Julie, for being able to easily forgive people.
Well, it's not easy, and it's not
just being
pass, but be able for
you to be able to
get
do
over it. I have to
for you to be able to do. I don't operate like that.
Yeah.
Once you have crossed me, and I know that you know what you're doing, then I don't need, and it's not me hanging on to anger. You're not prohibiting me from living my life and being happy and being fruitful, because I'm going to do that regardless. Exactly. I'm always going to remember though what you did.
Exactly.
And every time I see you, I will make sure to let you know that
what you did. Yes.
It has nothing to do with me being bitter or because, I mean, and that's happened where I projected onto folks, loved ones, friends, peers, all of that, and I had to again do that work and do self-inventory and just be like, you can't do this.
Well,
you can't operate like that.
I can forgive, but you have to like give grace in it, right? Because like what Barry said, we're not perfect and we're flawed, but I have to create boundaries and I can forgive it for what it is, but it doesn't mean that I have to be your friend anymore. It doesn't mean I still have to play the daughter role anymore.
Right.
It doesn't mean I have to be your girlfriend again. It just means, you know what? I forgive you, but I'm not going to allow this to happen again.
I'm still a work in progress. I don't just
because you're
forgive.
Young. Are you the baby of the group?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know. I just take it to heart because you know what you're doing.
And
you know what you're doing when you're disrespecting someone. You know what you're doing when you are crossing boundaries.
Exactly.
If we've had a one-on-one about something and then you go and do something super fucking foul, then now I'm at you, and that's just what it is. And I've had that done with friends and people in the past. Period. And not just with friends, but with family members too. I've cut off family members for crossing boundaries. Like, don't disrespect. Reciprocity is key. I'm going to give you respect. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. Don't don't do that with me because you will feel that.
Exactly.
I'm not as soft spoken as you.
And see, that's what
you know,
I'm trying to work on.
Diplomatic as Barry,
And that's what I'm working. But that's what I'm working on because I'm too nice. I'm too forgiving. But that's just my heart.
I've been called a lot of I've been called a lot of things, and graceful ain't one of them.
Right. I'm saying right because I agree with you. Not that I've heard
graceful ain't one of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like I said, I allow God to do for me what I can't do for myself. You know, and when it's time for me to forgive, He will let me know. But until then, God bless.
And to answer your question, what I do is, aside from isolating from folks, just to, get a clear, because I don't think that you can really filter out and do the work that you need to without separating yourself from just everybody. You cannot call yourself doing, in my opinion, you cannot call yourself doing self-work while you're still out here entertaining bullshit and swimming around in the cesspool that you was swimming around in before. You need to completely detach,
remove yourself,
you got to hit that reset button and really like take full self-inventory of what it is that people are doing, and then most importantly what you're doing. That's something that I had to do.
You do that first.
I had to hold myself accountable.
You do that first, like, because it starts with you and it ends with you.
Right. And with that first, you got to ask yourself those hard questions. Yes. Like, you got to be real with yourself.
And that's where I have like that, like I check myself, but then I go inward, like I deserve this. Like what did I do like that warranted this karma for me? But I've isolated my whole life.
Was it something I said, the tone that I used, things of that nature?
Yeah, so I went inward because that's where my trauma kind of was. It's like you. So for my self-growth is, okay, start trusting people, which is hard for somebody.
I trust your actions. I trust your actions.
Exactly. And
especially if I've given you that grace where it's just like, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt, I trust you, and then you've crossed me and I am giving you a chance, then now I'm watching your actions.
And it's how you recover from me. It's how you recover.
But I think grace changes when you start having children though. I think you start seeing things a little differently. I think you start seeing a little bit beyond just the simplistic nature of somebody done you wrong, because when you have kids, I know even with my sons, like things I used to see black and white, you start seeing various degrees of different colors.
And I did foster care, right?
And my mom worked in foster care. My mom and my aunt.
So I had 3 kids.
So you look a little bit beyond
globally. I think globally versus.
So that's what I talk about when I say that there's degrees to it. It's not just.
See, for me, my children are grown. 29 and 32. You know what I mean? They're grown and they have mental issues.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So like Nick said,
and then we just came from a pandemic. I mean, I think all of us have. So
yes,
because isolation.
If anything, the pandemic highlighted that very fact.
Yeah,
if anything,
and you isolated. So when we came back and people, we didn't know how to act.
But you know what? It was cool for me because I'm not a big people's person anyway. So the pandemic really didn't, you know what I mean?
See, it really didn't affect me. I have kids.
Yeah, you have kids at home because your kids. You look at your kids like my son is a social kid. He's not able to be social. Yeah. That affects everything in the household.
Yeah. My youngest, it didn't affect me.
My youngest didn't want to go out with a mask anymore.
Yeah, they got tired of it.
She was like, well, people are going to think I'm ugly. And it's like, because she's been able to hide behind a mask. And she's gorgeous.
Yeah.
I want to say something. Smart, but I ain't gonna do that. But
another thing, music too. Night drives. That's another thing that costs.
Yes, night drives in the rain by the water.
I'll get in the car at like 12 midnight and just drive around.
Something about
spin the block.
Yep, I do that too. I agree with that.
And I'm a runner.
Or go down there by the water and you're just hearing the water, the sounds of the water.
Something about the water.
It's just soothing. Yeah, it's just something soothing about the water.
I run at Chambers Bay because I get to hit the concrete, see the water, it's nature, the trees, and just like the softness is on a golf course. And then I hurt my foot and I haven't been able to work out for 2.5 weeks.
You know what?
Okay.
I just noticed you got a shoe on your
I
foot.
should not be wearing my shoe, but I was trying to
All
be cute
this time,
today. I'm
glad. How is your
And
foot?
why were you
It's
trying to be cute
bad.
today? What was going on today? Oh, okay.
Because I might have went on a ice cream date today.
They still
And
have
I got
those?
a bouquet of flowers.
I
and
don't know what that is.
sweetest gift.
You just go somewhere and get ice cream?
Yeah,
That's what. Yeah,
it
isn't that
was
what it is?
really cute.
I'm being real.
he's
I
being
genuinely
cold.
don't know.
We met
Nick,
for
Nick Jones is being cold.
I genuinely don't know.
I think that's a
we
plus.
met for ice cream. And he got
Okay.
me this beautiful bouquet of flowers and a statue because I'm about hearts.
Okay.
And he got me this statue thing with it incorporated. a
Okay.
heart.
That brother doing some homework.
So
I
y'all
like
got
that.
so a second date is in
That
tow.
was third.
Third.
Oh.
Stony, hi, baby.
Oh wow.
Mwah.
Yeah, 4
Okay.
is next Saturday.
Whoever takes you out after that, the bar is raised.
Well, that might not even happen. It sounds like he's on a
Yeah.
on a killing spree with the impressions, the first impressions or
He's
whatever.
happy. I'm happy.
He might have hooked you.
Now she gonna turn the hat around. Now
I'm
she
putting
gonna
that in
turn-
I'm putting that in the archives.
Okay.
Ice cream date.
Ice cream
Ice
date.
cream date. We had a
Yes.
bookstore date.
Yeah.
Then we went to
Oh,
a
okay.
comedy show. And then we had an ice cream date.
Ideas. I'm writing these notes.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah.
Ice cream dates.
Yeah.
Ice
It was
cream
just sweet. It was just so sweet.
I don't know if the women I've ever been would be cool. Yeah, I mean that's cool. They would be like, hey,
You
we ain't
know-
doing nothing else. We're going to ice cream, damn it.
You know what? I ain't
I
even
like it.
messing with you.
I
I,
like
ain't
it.
even.
No, that's-
gon-
I
I
ain't
ain't
just
even
thinking-
messing with you.
We knew we only had 2 hours.
Okay.
Today. And so
So you make it work.
we made it
Instead
work.
of saying, hey,
Instead of, hey, well, I'll catch you next weekend, it was, you have the time, Julie. I'm making the time.
That's
I
dope.
bet.
Didn't you go to the mountains this weekend?
I didn't go to the mountains this weekend.
Oh.
Why? What were you getting at?
Did you have a mountain date?
A mountain date?
Did you have a
I
mountain
mean,
date?
we were talking about ice cream dates.
Did you have a mountain date?
Unless me and my son are going out there. I don't. I was with my son. It's sun time.
Okay.
It's sun time.
Okay. Okay. All right.
But I mean, no,
got
I think
ideas.
that's dope. I
I
think
got ideas, Nick.
I might have to get at you for
I
it,
think
so I
finding
can
different ways
apply
of
like terms.
yeah, finding different ways of going on
It's
dates.
the little things for me, truly.
Well, and see, that's always debatable
can
because people do say
understand
that.
that,
But we're gonna
Yes.
Get, huh?
That's the perfect
Yes.
date, David.
Yes, ice cream.
Ah,
You know what? For me, my comfort food is banana pudding.
oh really?
where do you get it from?
Yes.
Actually, I get it from Fred
Tacos.
Myers.
Really?
They have the little cups with the graham cracker crust and a banana pudding and then whipped cream.
Too many
And
That
calories.
sounds better than mine, because mine's beef jerky.
it's my comfort food. And like when I say comfort, like I can just and be okay. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I
That's
have
your
a
piece.
comfort food. I'm more so just like
Don't
I
eat
said,
or
just-
eat it all.
I just isolate and throw on my music or get on the road and drive around.
No, or steak.
I'm
Give me a steak.
a steak.
I'm beef jerky
Give me
and
a
chewing
give me a
gum.
give me a nice juicy steak.
You eat steak when you're depressed? When you're sad?
Barry said
I
I'm a
went.
man.
I had a steak quite a few times lately, so I don't know. Maybe I am.
Barry
sad.
said I'm a man's man. Give me a
that's-
steak.
There's nothing like it.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna have to.
That's what's up.
Yeah. So
And I love how it's not a one size fit all, right?
Yes.
Where we all have our own issues and we
Yes.
dealing with our own ways, and they're all different ways,
Yes.
and all ways
Yes.
is still okay.
yeah.
Yes.
There's no right or wrong.
How you arrive at your
And-
destination is how you arrive at that
About your
destination.
destination. And you know what? It's
your personal and spiritual journey.
Yes. For me, it's not about
Mental
it's
journey.
not about the destination.
It's about the ride,
It's
yeah.
about the journey.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
all of
like,
it.
Give
Keep
me
taking.
all of it.
It's
You know,
all on you.
so we're gonna kind of wrap it up.
Yeah.
And
dope topic.
we're just gonna say, you know, we have the numbers of different crisis hotlines.
So there's the National Suicide Hotline.
Yes.
And
800-273-8255. I'm going to just go ahead and run through these
Okay.
real quick. Then you have the After Hours Crisis Hotline, 206-461-3222. And then there's the Valley City's main line, 253-833-7444. And I believe that is, and then you have the Behavioral Health and Recovery Division hotline, 206-263-9000. Housing referrals, 211. And I'll throw these all in the comment section so that you guys can just, have it at your leisure. And then there's the King County Client Service line, 206-263-8997 or 1-800-790-8049.
Yeah, and we also have resources for home if
Yes.
you need shelter.
Yes.
We have resources for
Yes.
food. We have resources for counseling and transportation if that's something that also is causing anxiety or stress.
Throw up a post with all of these, all this information, Julie,
I would do
Yes.
in both Shop Culture
Culture-
Supreme,
Yes.
Chit-Chat Lounge, and then Shop Culture Live. That way,
Absolutely.
everybody has these
Absolutely.
this
Definitely.
information.
We want to thank Shop Culture for coming together with Shop Culture Supreme, United in Mental Health. If you see me, or I open my inbox to you if you're going through anything, I am that ear that you can listen to, or that I can listen to you. We don't have to suffer in silence no more. It's okay to admit that you have a mental illness.
And we're stronger together.
Yes, and we're definitely
Stronger
stronger together.
Yes.
So we thank you guys for being here, and
for having us.
Yes, thank you for having me.
yes, and you can reach out to us on Instagram, SK Supreme 616. Then you can chit chat with us at the lounge on Facebook, Shop Culture Supreme Chit-Chat Lounge. Come on over, just chill.
All of that
and
information is
chill
in the
out.
description box as well. If you're watching on YouTube, all of that information in regards to where you can follow the ladies and get up on their content via Facebook and Instagram, it's right there in the description box.
Yes, and hit the fellas up to Shop Culture. Their show is tomorrow on Tuesdays at 8. So we love you guys, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that's game.